why gopis of Vrindavan are the greatest devotees of the Lord. So we have like these are first grade, second grade children, like 6-7 years old children. So we did little practice on our regular Vedic school, which we do every Sunday from 6 to 7. And last, I guess, like 2 months, like 8 to 10 weeks, we did practice. So this is not kind of professional drama, I would say. And we did not record because we just thought, okay, let's do the kids whatever they can do the best with their own voice, or the live. Sometimes they'll forget. Yesterday we did rehearsal. Still we will missing so many things, but I hope you will enjoy this drama. So I just want to know that whether everybody here know the little background of the story, or have you heard the story Krishna is having headache? Yeah, I know. Kids know everything because they learn everything while reading, or they are most of them attending the Vedic school since they are young preschool. But I guess I'll just tell a little thing about that, because this story is like, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Sukadeva Goswami says in the verse 2.6.3 that Savai Pumso Paro Dharma Yata Torbakcha Daksaje Ahetuki Apratihata Yatma Suprasiddhati. So here the Srila Sukadeva Goswami is saying that who is the fit to do the devotion. Basically our dharma, the dharma of all the humanity, is that one can have the pure love, or develop the pure love and devotion to the Supreme Lord, which should be ahetukim, it should be unintended, unmotivated. And that love here we see in this drama, which is depicted by the gopis of Vrindavan, because here we are going to show that Krishna is having headache. Basically, if you say that, does Krishna having headache? No, he is a transcendental. He don't have anything whatever we have in this material world. But through this small pastime of him, he is showing that how the gopis of Vrindavan, they are so pure that their love or the devotion to himself is so pure that they are ready to do anything for him. So in this drama, we are showing that Krishna is having headaches, and the cure for that headache was to get something which everybody has it, but nobody can give it to him. And that is something is that where gopis comes in the picture, where the gopis are showing that no matter what, they are not worried about themselves. They are worried that how Krishna can be cured, and how they do not care that in this drama we will show that we are afraid of going to hell, right? Does anybody want to go to hell? No one wants to go to hell. So those gopis are ready to go to hell just to please Krishna. So they are saying that because going to hell means suffering from, we are already suffering this material world, but going to hell means there is more than suffering which we cannot even imagine. And knowing all those things, so many devotees, like greatest devotees, there are demigods, there are brahmanas, and there are even the queens of Krishnas. Krishna has 16,108 queens, right? All of the queens which were there in the Dwarka with Krishna all the time, but everybody is afraid of going to hell because they didn't want to go to hell. They know what is in the hell. But other hand, the gopis are so devoted to the Lord. They just want to see the Krishna. They just by the thought or just by hearing that Krishna is having headache, they just said that whatever we can do, we'll do for him. And they are not worrying about, they do not care for them going to hell, but they did it. And that is the love, that is the devotion. So I think we all need to develop that love and devotion. And just Krishna want to declare that how the gopis of Vrindavan are the greatest devotees of the Lord. So this is just little background. So, but we have another thing. I just want to tell that this is very small drama, 20 minutes maybe, but we have small scenes which we need to pull up the curtain and just little preparation. So just be patient, and then I hope you'll enjoy the drama. Thank you so much.
Narad Muni travels all over various universes and meets many great devotees of the Lord. He wondered who is the greatest devotee amongst them all. So he decided to go to Dwarka to meet Krishna and ask Krishna himself. Therefore, he went to the Lord's palace while singing the Lord's glorious on his veena.
Narayana, Narayana. My dear Queen, I have come to see the Lord and ask him a very important question. Please take me to him.
O great sage, my Lord is in great pain. I do not know how to relieve him.
My Lord, what has happened?
I am suffering from severe headache. If I do not get the proper medicine before sunset, my life will be at risk.
Dear Krishna, please tell me what kind of medicine you need to be cured. We are all very worried about you.
Only the dust from the lotus feet of my devotees to put on my head to cure my head.
Dear Krishna, this will be very easy to do. You have devotees all over the universe. I will immediately find this devotee and bring you the dust of your feet. Narayana, Narayana.
Confident that you'll be able to get the medicine very quickly, he went straight to Krishna's queens. You have to get ready. Confident that he'd be able to get the medicine very quickly, he went straight to Krishna's queens.
Narayana, Narayana.
Oh, dear Narada, it is such an honor to welcome you to our home. Please tell us how we can serve you.
Our most worshipful Lord Krishna is suffering from a severe headache. And the only cure is the dust from the lotus feet of his devotees. Please give me the dust of your feet.
What? How can I get the dust of my feet to put on my husband's head? I will go to hell if it touches the head of my Lord. We are very sorry, but we cannot give you the dust of our feet.
Narayana, Narayana.
Narad's money went to all the other queens, but none of them would give the dust of their feet for the same reason.
Narayana, Narayana.
Narad's money went traveling across the universe to see the great demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Indra.
Narayana, Narayana. My dear demigods, I have come here to ask you to please give me the dust of your feet. Our most worshipable Lord Krishna is suffering from a severe headache, and the only cure is the dust of the lotus feet of his devotees. Please give me the dust of your feet.
How can we get a dust from our feet? He's the worshipful Lord. You will not give a dust from our feet.
Impossible! This will be a great offense.
Then surely come out. We
Not
cannot give
give
the
it
dust
us
from
from
our
our
feet.
Narayana, Narayana.
Narad's Muni saw some Brahmanas worshipping Lord Krishna with great devotion in a temple, so he decided to ask them.
Narayana, Narayana.
Please tell us what we can do for you.
My dear Brahmanas, I have come here to ask you to please give me the dust of your feet, and because Krishna is suffering from a severe headache.
What? Dust from our feet?
It will be a great offense, but we're very sorry. We cannot help you.
Narayana, Narayana.
Narad Muni,
Okay.
Narad Muni was extremely disappointed. He returned to Dwarka unsuccessful of his attempts. Narad Muni felt that after seeing so many great devotees of the Lord, he cannot fulfill his mission. He went to Krishna and explained how no one wants to give their dust to put on his head.
Narayana, Narayana. Dear Krishna, I am very sorry. I thought it would be very easy to get the medicine you need to be cured, but I have been unsuccessful in my attempts.
Did you ask the gopis of Vrindavana?
No, I have been to everywhere except Vrindavana.
Then please go to Vrindavana and tell the gopis about my headache.
Narayana, Narayana.
Krishna. Narad Muni immediately went to Vrindavan. There, on the banks of the Yamuna river, he saw Radharani surrounded by her Sakhis, with their faces turned in the direction of Dwarka. They were all crying in separation from their beloved Krishna. When they saw Narad Muni, they became very happy, wiping the tears from their eyes. They greeted Narada.
Narayana, Narayana.
Have you come from Dwarka? Were you with our beloved Krishna? How is our Krishna? Is everything auspicious with him? Please tell us.
Dear gopis, I have come from Dwarka and I bear bad news. Your beloved Krishna is suffering from a severe headache since early this morning.
Oh no! Our Krishna is sick!
I have searched all over the universe to try to find the medicine, but I have been unsuccessful in my attempts.
What is the medicine? How can he be cured? Did Krishna send you here? To find the medicine? Please tell us what the cure is. We will find it at once.
Krishna said the only cure is the dust from the lotus feet of his devotees. If I do not get the proper medicine before sunset, then Krishna's life will be at risk.
All the dust from my feet cure Krishna.
Krishna said that the dust of the lotus feet of his devotees will be the cure.
We are not great devotees of the Lord.
But if Krishna thought of us as devotees, then immediately we are ready to give the dust from our feet.
Anything for our beloved Krishna. We will do whatever it takes to cure Krishna, even if it means that we will go to hell.
Immediately, Srimati Radharani and the gopis collected their dust from their feet and gave it to Narad Muni. Narad Muni was surprised to see them so willingly give their dust.
Dear gopis, do you know that you were giving dust to Krishna to put on his head, the one who was worshipped by one and all? Even the residents of heaven refused to give the dust of their feet because they were afraid to go to hell.
Yes, we know this. Even if we go to hell for giving Krishna dust from our feet, we're still more than willingly to give. We just want Krishna to be relieved from his pain.
If Krishna is happy, we are happy.
Please go quickly and relieve our Krishna from his pain.
Narayana, Narayana.
Retreat. Narad Muni immediately left for Dwarka to see Krishna. Narad was in great ecstasy as he carried the dust from the gopis' lotus feet on his hand.
Narayana, Narayana. Yes, my queen, I have it with me. Please take me to your lord.
Headache is gone. I'm completely cured. Narada, you brought the dust. Just see, the gopis of Vrindavan are my greatest devotees. Unlike the queens, demigods, and even the brahmanas, the gopis of Vrindavan were not afraid of Kuntala and willing to suffer any consequence. Oh Narada, let it be known that the gopis of Vraja are my greatest and dearest devotees.
Lord Krishna, being seated in everyone's heart, knew that Narad Muni was in search of the greatest devotee. Thus, he arranged this wonderful pastime to show Narad Muni who the greatest devotees are. This most holy dust from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and her Sakhis is called Gopi Chandan. This is the Gopi Chandan Tilak we use every day to mark our body with Lord Krishna's different names.
Narayana, Narayana.
I hope you all liked it. Thank you so much. So we'll just introduce, we have nearly 17, 18 characters. So we'll just go, they will introduce their name and their role in that character.
My name is Avigna and my role is Rukmini.
My name is Vedanishta and I'm acting like Vishaka.
My name is Viraj and I was acting as Brahmana.
My name is Stavia, and I was acting as Narad Muni.
My name is Vaishnavi and I was acting as Kalanti.
My name is Nimai and I was a narrator. My name is Manjari and I was acting as Radharani.
My name is Vidhan, and I play narrator too.
My name is Mihira and I played Tungavidya.
My name is Takrish, and I played Krishna.
My name
is Nima. I played Shiva.
My name is Gopal and I played as Indra.
My name is Gokul and I was playing Brahma.
My name is Swart and I was playing Brahmana.
My name is Gopika and I play Lalita. My name is Danya and I was playing Jambavanti. My name is Auntie and I was playing Satyabhama.
Thank you so much, all of you kids here, and thank you so much to all the parents for bringing them every week for the Sunday school and for the drama practices. And another thing that thank you so much to our dear Harivilas Maharaj. So Harivilas Maharaj is the one who encourages everybody in the temple, and I'm so proud to say that he's so very happy if we showcase our whatever we learn here in temple through scriptures or by seeing other devotees, and if he is very happy to see if the children are doing the same thing whatever we are doing, and the best way to showcase that is through the drama, this kind of, another is the dance. So these are the two things which makes Harivilas Maharaj happy, and he is happy, we are happy. So thank you so much, Maharaj, for always encouraging us. And thank you to the temple management. Thank you to Sandeep Prabhu over there, who helped us to manage all these wireless mics, which is not easy at all to deal with the live drama. And another thing is that I would like to I would like to Bhakti Priya Mataji too, she will tell the more details about, because we are having the another Anand Mela dance, so she'll tell the more details about it.
Hare Krishna. First, let's give a big round of applause for teachers. This would have not been possible without the patience of Yashoda Mai Mataji and Radhika Leela. I would like to invite Don Prabhuji to give a small token of appreciation to the teachers.
Actually, I'll be more happy if Prabhuji have a little time to give the gift to children first. Yeah, we have
So stay back, there is one more shloka performance by Gopala class. We have a couple more, like 15 more minutes before we end the whole event.
So, Prabhu, do you have time if you give the gift to each of the child one? Yeah? Yes, thank you so much.
Let's continue the clapping. Let's encourage the little ones.
Thank you for your work. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
if there is anyone else who is from Govinda class, and yeah.
After kids, it's teacher's turn. Radhika Leela Mataji. She's been teaching plus how many years?
12
Years. She's been teaching from past 12 years Vedic school. The registration link for the next year will be open in July. But for now, we have opened for Anand Mela dance practices. If you would like to children for Anand Mela dance practice, it's a 7-week session. Please go ahead and enroll. Big clap for Radhika Leela Mataji. Radhika Leela Mataji was accompanied by Yashomati Mai Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Next, we have a performance by Gopala class. Gopala class is the online class for 3 to 5 years old, and we will have again next year online. If you are interested or any of your friends are interested, you can please spread the word. Without any further delay, we will start with Gopala class.
Hare Krishna, dear parents. Thank you so much for coming today on a Sunday, for taking time and coming here. So we are very blessed to have your presence. So I invite Gopala class students here onto the stage. Ahna Suvarna, Aradhya, Amav, Agastya, Vian, Nikunj, and Devkush. And Sai Kruti. Come.
नीचे बैठो थोड़ा हाँ बस यस डन ये देखो ये शपथ मनी में संभाल के
Hare Krishna, dear parents. Kindly help the kids settle down. So they have prepared an entire year memorizing the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita and learning the prayers to the Lordship and all the gurus. So it is a very auspicious moment for them to present whatever they have learned in front of Shri Shri Radha Neela Madhav. Dear children, can you please turn to the Lordships and seek the blessings of the Lord? Please pray to the Lord. Fold your hands, pray to the Lord and seek the blessings. And then please turn this side. Thank you. So now they will be presenting all the shlokas that they have learned. So we'll start with Sai Kruti. Sai Kruti, how old are you?
4.
Can you please recite all the shlokas that you have learned in the class?
Maya dakshina prakritihi Surya Sachadacharam Hetu Nonaya Kauntanya Sagarva Parivartate.
Hari Bol.
Avajananti Mamuda Masitantara Masitam Pavamparam Jananta Mamuputa Maswara.
Hari Bol.
Agnana Timidasha Nanandana Silakaya Takshu Militam Ena Tasmesvi Gurudena Maha.
Hari Bol.
Aham Sarvasya Prabhama Matta Sambam Pravatata Dimacha Bhajantama Purubhava Sambam Vitaha.
Thank you so much, Sai Kruti. Can everybody give a big round of applause to Sai Kruti? She's just 4 years old. So next.
Devkush. करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। ॐ अज्ञानान्तमरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरन्तु च।
Can you all give a big round of applause to Devkush? So he just needs to use the restroom. He'll come back. Vian.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayati girim yakipatamaha vande Srigaram Dintanam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Narottamam Tato Jayam Udiriyat. Om Agnana Tamarasya Agnana Anjana Sharke Aksharulitam Yena Tasmasi Guruve Namaha. He Krishna Kanna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopakanta Radhakanta Namostute. Radhakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishmanuste Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरन्तु च। मया पिता मनोर्बुद्धिर् माम् एवैषस्य संशयः। शरारपि सुनीचेन तरपि सहिष्णुना अमनेन मनदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरिः। मोगशमोग कर्माणो मोग ज्ञान विचेतसः राक्षसीम् आश्रयं चैव प्राकृतिं मोहिनीं स्थितः। राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रम् इदम् उत्तमं प्रत्यक्षागमं धार्म्यं सुसुखं कृतम् अव्ययम्। अवजरन्ति मामुदाः मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावमजानन्तो मम भूतमहेश्वरम्।
Everybody give a big round of applause for Vian. So next is Nikunj.
Hare Krishna. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat. Om Agnanatimirandhasya Nananjala Shalakaya Kaksurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Krishna Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanaಭaya, Nama Pankajamaline, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre. Krishna Krishna Arjuna Vacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvam Ego Dahyamananam Apavargosi Samsrute. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yodhyacha Mayarpita Manobodhir Mam Ivashashtiya Samshayaha Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarti Nityasam Tasya Hamsolabha Parta Nitya Yuktasya Yoganaha Mamupetya Punarjanma Dukalyama Shasvatam Napnuvanti Mahatmana Samsitim Paramam Gataha Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punar Avatinojuna Mamupetya Tukonteya Punarjanmana Vidyate Videshu Yagneshu Tapashu Chaiva Daneshu Yat Punya Phalam Pradishtam Atyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva Yogi Param Sthanam Upeti Chadyam Raja Vidya Rajagohyam Pavitram Idam Utimam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukam Kratum Avyayam Maya Tatamidam Sarvam Pavitram Idam Jagat Avyaktamurti Nama Matstanti Sarva Bhutani Nacha Hamtish Avashtadaha Maya Jakshina Prakriti Suyate Chaturachram Hetunanina Konteya Jagat Viparivartate Avajanante Mamuda Manushim Tanunashrutam Parambhava Jananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram Trinada Pisu Nichena Tarora Pisa Hishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi.
So that is total 20 shlokas by Nikunj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, my name's Amav. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangam lagayate garam, yat kripa tamaham vande, Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Om Ajnana Timirandasya, Nana Janasha Akaya, Chakshuramritam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhudhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Nama Pankaja Nabhaya Nama Pankaja Mauline Nama Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangrahe. Arjuna Avacha Krishna Krishna Mahabahu Bhaktanam Abhayankara Twameku Dahyamananam Apavargo Sitam Tatre. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मयार्पितार्मनोबुद्धिर्माम् एवैष्यसि असंशयः तैनादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना माददेन कीर्तन्या सदा हरि. Hare Krishna. My name is Aradhya. I am 6. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lankayate girim yakavyatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Narayanam namaskrityanam chaivanarottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojyam mudiyayet. Om agnanatimirandasya nanajana shalakaya takshun militam menam tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanabaya Nama Pankajamalini Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajange. Arjuna Vacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhakta Nama Bhyankara Tvam me Godahyamananam Apavargo Si Samskrite. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rashabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatubhyascha kapasindubhi evacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmaya yudhya cha maya pitamano buddhe mame vashyasi samsheha. Ananya cheta satam yovan smarinetya saha tasyaham sulabhapata nitya yuktasya yoginham. Mama petya punajanma dukalayam sashvatam napnuanti mahatmana samsiddhyam paramam gata. Abhamha punaloka punavartino jana mama petya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Vedeshu yagneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yatpyanya palam pajishtam atte tatsamidam vaditva yogi param stanum peti chadyam. Rajavidya Rajagohyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshasagavam Tamyam Susakam Kautum Avyayam. Maya tatam idam savam jagatavyaktamutana machstani savabhutani nachaham te savasta. Maya jakshina bhakti suyate sachirajam hitunanina kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Avajananti mamuda manusham tanamashita pavam bhavamajanananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Tenadapi sunichena taropi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahai. Moga samoga karmano moga nana vichita saha rakshasamasum chaiva bhakti mohanim srita. Mahatmanastu mamata devim prakta ashita bhajanti ananya manaso natva bhutadam avyayam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
A big round of applause to Aradhya.
Hare Krishna, my name is Ahana. Mukam karoti vachalam bangum langayate girib yakripatamaham bande shigurum dinakaranam narayanam namaskityam devi prakritim ashita nurdam devi prakritim devi saraswatim vasam tartojayam uduriyet Om Jnanam Timirandasya Jnananana Shalakaya Chakshurumani Tamela Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamalini Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajange Arjuna Vacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvameko Dahyamananam Apavargosi Samskrite Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpite Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visubhanu Sute Devi Haramami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyas Kripa Sindhubhate Vicha Para Pavnevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Avasadi Shri Avateta Gadara Shri Avasadi Gavata Bhakta Vinda Tasmat Svesha Kaleshu Mama Nusmara Yudhyacha Mayar Pitamano Buddhir Asamshreha Ananya Cheta Satakam Yomam Swati Nityasaha Tatyanam Sulabhabarta Nitya Yuktesya Yogenaha Mama Petya Panarjanma Dukalayama Sasvitam Napnavanti Mahatmanam Samsartim Parapanam Abramma Puranaloka Punaravindoru Arjuna Mamo Petya Tukanteya Punarjanmana Vidyate Abrahma Bhavan Vedeshu Yagneshu Tapasu Cheva Taneshu Yag Punyam Palam Prajishtam Accheti Tatsarvam Vilam Viditva Yogi Pransanavopeti Chadyam Rajavidya Yaja Gunyam Arvidram Inamuktaram Bhakta Sharadam Daimyam Susukam Karam Maya Dattami Darsanvam Jagatiyam Ayayam Murtina Astani Sarva Bhutani Nasaham Desavasasam Maya Dakshena Pratati Suyate Sacharacharam Yatunani Tukanteya Jagannavi Parivartate Avajananti Mamuda Mashati Tanumashitam Param Bhava Majannanto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram Moga Samoga Karmano Moga Jnana Vichetasa Rakshasi Masarim Cheva Prakritim Mohinim Shitaha Mamhanastu Mambata Devim Prakritim Ashita Bhajanti Anyam Manaso Nadva Bhuta Maheshwaram Tinadda Pisu Niche Natarora Pisu Hishnuna Manadina Kirtanya Sadahari Hare Krishna.
That is Ahna Suvarna. Next, Dakshinya and Dakshita. Both of them will recite together. They are twins.
Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat krupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Narayana नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ अज्ञानान्तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्गये। ॐ अज्ञानान्तिमिरान्धस्य चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। कृष्ण कृष्ण महाबाहो भक्तानामभयङ्कर त्वम् एको दह्यमानानाम् अपवर्गोऽसि संस्कृते। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु माम् अनुस्मरयुज्य च मय्यार्पिता मनोर्बुद्धिर्मामे ऐश्यस्य संशयः। अनन्यचेताः सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभं पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः। मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः। आब्रह्मा भुवनालोका पुनरावर्तिनो अर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपश्चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपेति चाद्यम्। राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रम् इदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्षावगमं धन्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्। मया ततम् इदं सर्वं जगत् अव्यक्तमूर्तिना मस्तानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेष्वस्थितः। अवजानन्ति मामूढा मानुषीतनुमाश्रितं परं भावमजानन्तो मम भूतामहेश्वरम्। मया दक्षेण प्रकृतिः सूयते सचराचरं हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगत् विपरिवर्तते। मोघसमोघकर्माणो मोघज्ञानविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोघनीष्यताः। महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्ति अनन्या मनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतानि अव्ययम्। त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन चरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानदेन मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Dakshinya and Dakshita, give a big round of applause. Thank you. This is Adya. Okay, please chant.
Mokam karati vachalam Pangam mungaite giram Yat kripata mahamande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devam saraswatam yasam Tato jaimodirayat Narayanam Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshuritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kamaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamalina Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhakta Nama Bankara Swam Ekotaya Mananam Apavargasi Samskrite Hey Krishna Karuna Sando Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vittavaneshwari Veshabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Praye Vancha Kalpatarobhishya Kripa Sunnabhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanasmurotyacha Marpika Manobuddhi Mame Vaisasya Samsheha Ananya Cheta Satatam Yoma Smriti Nityasa Tasyaham Salabhapata Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha Mama Petya Punarjanma Dukkalemma Saswatam Naputavati Mahatmana Samsatam Paramam Garaha Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Praktakshavagam Dharnyam Sasakam Kartam Avyayam Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hito Nainana Kaunteya Jagat Viprivartate Maya Tatamidam Sarvam Jagat Aviktam Murtina Matstani Sababhutani Nacham Tasva Avastitaha Avajanti Mamuda Manasam Tanamashita Parambhava Majananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram Trinadapi Sudechena Taropi Seshtura Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadad Harihi Moga Samoga Karmano Moga Jnana Vachetasa Rakshasa Asaram Chaiva Prakritam Muivim Shita Mahatmanasta Bhapata Devam Prakritam Ashita Bhajanti Anini Manaso Natra Bhuta Napavyayam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Everyone give a big round of applause for Adya. So next is Agastya.
Hare Krishna
Mayadakshini Partati Suriteshwarashram Kamteya Jagni Vari Partate Om Gana Andasya Nani Nakya Om Gana Andasya Manish Vakya Tamya Tamera Namaha Ida Hi Dhammasya Klane Bharti Bharata Abhyutan Dhammasya Sadam Shijamyaham.
Hari Bol. Give a big round of applause. He is the youngest in the class. Thank you so much. So Devkush, you want to chant 2 more shlokas? Yeah, quickly. You have to make it quick.
Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mama nasmarayati cha mayarpita manopadir mamai varshasya samshayaha ananyachetaha satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabhaparta nityayoktasya yoginaha Mama Pedya Punarjanma Dukhalayam Shaswatam Napnavanti Mahatmanaha Samsiddhyam Paramam Gataha Abramapapanaaloka Punaravarti Norjana Mama Pedya Tukaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate Vedeshu Agneshu Tapashu Cheva Taneshu Atpunya Palam Pradishtam Atiti Tat Sarvam Idam Meditva Yogi Paramstanam Bhaveti Jatyam Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshivagamam Dharmam Susukam Kartum Avyayam Mayatatam Idam Sarvam Jagat Avyaktamurtana Matstani Sarvabhutani Najaham Tesra Vastitaha Mayadhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam Etunanena Kauteya Jagat Viparivartate Avajananti mamu damana shimtanamashritam Parambhavam jananto mama bhuta maheshwaram Mogashamoga karmano moga jnana vichetasa Rakshasi masurim jeva prakriti mohanim shataha Mahatmanastu mamparta devim prakriti mashritaha Bhajanti ananya manaso yatva bhutadim avyayam Ranatapi shunichena tarorapi seshnuna Mani Namandaneda Kirtaniya Sadahari.
Hare Krishna. Can all the kids stand up and chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is Gopala class, online class. All the kids are from 3 to 6 years old. They have put in a lot of effort and a lot of effort by the parents for them to remember all these shlokas. To sit online and pay attention and learn so much is very, very commendable. So they've learned prayers which glorify Krishna. And my sincere prayer is that they always remember these prayers and shlokas and they always chant them every day. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everybody. So we want to give gifts to the kids. Maharaj? Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Would you like to come and give gifts to the kids? Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj. So we are very thankful to His Holiness Harvilas Maharaj for giving this opportunity for all of us to come together and learn about Krishna and memorize all these shlokas. So without Maharaj, we will not be having this wonderful opportunity. So we are eternally grateful to him. So these young children are learning about Krishna. So that is such a blessing. Thank you, Maharaj. And I would like to thank Bhakti Priya Mataji and Vedic School for giving us the opportunity. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Yes. Amav, please come and take the gift. Next, Ahna Suvarna. Yeah. Aradhya. Hare Krishna. Next, Vian. Vian. Hare Krishna. Dev. Next, Sai Kriti. Yeah. Nikunj. Next, Dakshinya and Dakshita. Yeah, twins, Maharaj. Adya. And next is Agastya, 3-year-old. Yes.
Let's give a big round of applause for the teacher. Little more, let's hear the more sound. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Well, we want to thank Bhakti Priya Devi Dasi, who is the head mistress of our school. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, so now we're going to continue with our program. And first of all, I wanted to introduce everyone to our cow. Where's the cow? Bring him here. It's very important for children, especially, to associate with a real cow. And our cow's name is Ramdas. Yeah. If you ever want Ramdas to come to your house, we take him to houses when they have like parties or they have a puja or something. It's very auspicious to have a cow in your house. And Ramdas is a very sweet cow. You can hug him, you can cuddle him, and children love him. And it's important that children see a cow and be able to cuddle the cow, because if they go to school and in school they put a piece of meat on a plate for them to eat, the kids will say, no, I don't want to eat this because I love Ramdas. And Ramdas is a cow, so I'm not going to eat any cow meat. So it's a very, let's say, real inspirational experience for kids to hug and cuddle cows. And actually, it's very expensive to cuddle cows. If you do it going online, you have to pay $300 to cuddle a cow. Did you know that? Well, you can come here, it's free. We don't charge anyone. He's not getting up? Well, he'll get him up. You have to lift him up. Okay, so I want to make a quick announcement, a couple announcements. We had some sponsors of our feast today. Every Sunday, Saturday and Sunday, we feed about 2,000 people in the temple, in this temple. And in our other temple, we also feed at least 1,500 people on the weekend. So that's a lot of people. So our feast sponsors are Nitya Hari Priya Das, Nitya Hari Priya Das, and Nirmala Prema Devi Dasi. So we want to thank them very much. And next feast sponsor was Satvik Das, who was initiated yesterday. Previously he was Shiva, but now his name is Satvik Das, and Sanvika Devi Dasi, his wife. Thank you very much. On the occasion of their initiation ceremony. And next, Shunika Devi Dasi and Nilambari Desai. So thank you very much. And celebrating the marriage, anniversary, and birthday of Amav Kanapriyam. So happy anniversary, Amav. And then Ashok Selvaraj. And next, Sukirti Krishnadas. Sukirti Krishnadas, in memory of his father's Shraddh ceremony. And Gaurav Kolhe, on the occasion of his birthday. So happy birthday, Kola. And we have a few quick announcements. On June 22nd, in the Redmond Downtown Park, at 12 noon to 8 p.m., is our annual Veg Fest, Vegetarian Vegan Raw Food Festival. So you're all invited to come and taste real food, vegetarian, vegan, and raw food. And then also, so that's June 22nd in the Redmond Downtown Park from 12 noon to 8 p.m. in the evening. And then our major festival, Ananda Mela dance performances and vendor registrations are now open. Who's that? Stop that. So that means that if you want your children to participate in our Ananda Mela festival, we have dance, let's say, practices for boys and girls that they can perform at the festival, which is at the last weekend of July. And also, vendor registrations are now open for the festival. And you can go to our webpage, anandamela.org, or talk to the people at the front desk at the temple if you would like to have a booth or if you'd like to be a volunteer at the festival. So thank you very much. And now we're going to continue our program. Let me sit down here. Okay, Don has my book. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So tonight we're going to hear from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is the oldest book in the history of the world. It was first spoken 140 million years ago. And the last time it was spoken by Krishna to Arjuna 5,000 years ago. So there's no book in the world as old as the Bhagavad Gita. And you should be proud, because if you were born in Bharat or India, this book has been kept alive all these years, 140 million years ago until today, so that you can hear it. This one book has all knowledge necessary to liberate yourself from the cycle of birth and death. And that is the real goal of human life. Animals can't do that. They don't have the intelligence to understand the relationship with God, but human beings do. And the whole purpose of being a human being, or the whole purpose of human life, is to understand your relationship with God and act in that relationship. And therefore, at the moment of death, you remember Krishna and you go back to Godhead. There was one Mexican guy, he drank tequila. And he was crossing a street, and he was run over by a car. And the last thing he said was, tequila. Now, what do you think happened to him? He became a dog in his next life. So whatever you think of, whatever you, whatever your mind is focused on, that's what's going to happen to you. So he was always focused on tequila, and the last thing he said was tequila. So he became a dog. So you have to be very careful. The most important moment in a person's life is not birth, it's the moment of death. So if you prepare yourself for the moment of death and to have a successful death, which is you can remember Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you will go back to Godhead. There will be no more birth, death, old age, and disease. So it's very important because practice makes perfect. Therefore, if you want to remember Krishna at the moment of death, you should practice every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're trying to teach everyone in this temple how they can prepare themselves to go back to the spiritual world where there's no death, there's no, miseries, there's no anxiety, there's just pure love and devotion for Krishna, and there's always festivals going on in the spiritual world, and always fun and nice things. So if you want to get away from the burden of birth, death, old age, and disease, there is a way. You become Krishna conscious. And at the moment of death, if you remember Krishna, you go back to the spiritual world where we all came from originally. The spiritual world is called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha in Sanskrit means the place where there's no anxiety. So we should be anxious to learn how to do this. It's not difficult. In fact, in this age, which is the age of Kali, it's more easy to go back to Godhead than in any other previous ages. So there are 4 major ages. There's Sattva Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the worst time because very few people are really interested in spiritual life. Therefore, Krishna has made it very, very easy for people to go back to Godhead in Kali Yuga. You simply do 2 things. You eat only prasadam, or food that's been offered to Krishna first, and vegetarian food, of course, and then Krishna offers it back as his prasadam, his sanctified spiritual food. And by eating only prasadam, you become purified. And number 2, you chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Only 2 things you have to do to attain the perfection of human life, which is being able to remember Krishna at the moment of death, and you go back to the spiritual world. So it's important that we understand what is the real goal of human life. Animals cannot understand their relationship with God, so there's no way they can be liberated. However, human beings have the ability to understand their relationship with God. And if you don't try, you're basically a 2-legged animal. But if you try, you become a saintly person. And Krishna will thank you very much. And by the way, you know what happens when you go back to the Godhead, or you go back to the spiritual world? Krishna is there to welcome you at the entrance of Vaikuntha, and he shakes your hand. He said, "Very well done, my dear friend, very well done." So you should really desire to, or aspire to go back to the spiritual world where there's no more birth, death, old age, and disease. And of course, get that wonderful handshake at the entrance of the spiritual world. Okay, so today we're going to hear from the Bhagavad Gita, and verse number 12 in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. By the way, Bhagavad Gita is the oldest book in the history of the world. It was first spoken 140 million years ago. And the last time it was spoken, of course, is 5,000 years ago. And Krishna spoke it to Arjuna. And we have it today also. It's called Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. There's Srila Prabhupada right there. And he's the founder of the Hare Krishna movement. And I'm a disciple of Prabhupada. And believe me, if you read Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, there have been many Bhagavad Gitas. There's at least 600 translations of the Bhagavad Gita in the last 400 years. And all those Bhagavad Gitas have been there, and not one person ever became a devotee of Krishna by reading those Bhagavad Gitas. But as soon as His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, translated and gave the commentary to Bhagavad Gita, which I'm reading from now, thousands and thousands and thousands of people have become devotees. Why? Because this Bhagavad Gita, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, is Bhagavad Gita Yata Rup, as it is. He didn't change anything, He didn't add anything, He didn't subtract anything, He didn't give any personal opinions. He simply translated Bhagavad Gita as it is and presented it. And because of that, many, many people have become Krishna conscious. And we pray in this temple that you can also become Krishna conscious. You simply come and hear Bhagavad Gita spoken by genuine devotees and definitely ask questions. You never learn by remaining silent. You learn by asking questions. And if you ask questions, you get answers, and you begin to learn. If you read a book, you can read the book, but afterwards, you might not be able to remember much from after reading the book. But if you hear a lecture and you ask a question, then you'll hear the answer spoken, and oftentimes you might never forget that question and the answer. So this is my friend Ram Das. He's a zebu miniature cow. I always have him with me whenever I speak because it's important to have association with the cow. Why? Because Krishna himself was a cowherd boy. He loves cows. And if you associate with cows, you'll understand why Krishna loves cows, because they're very gentle and they're very auspicious. So instead of having a dog as a pet, you should have a cow as a pet. And this is, Ramdas is a miniature cow. Is that right, Ramdas? Yeah. He's looking for something to eat. He's eating the napkin. Okay, so today we're going to hear from the 7th chapter, 12th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Yechaiva satvika bhava. So what I'm going to do, we'll go word for word so you can also repeat the Sanskrit. So the first thing to repeat is Yechaiva Sattvika Bhava Rajasas Tamasas Chaye Mata Eva Tan Vidi Natvam Aham Tesu Te Mai. All right, now we'll go a few words at a time. Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasas tamasas chaye mata eveti tan vidhi not tved aham tesute mai. Okay, so this says Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. Know that all states of being, Arjuna, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. Oh, see, now he validated what I just said, you know. He said, I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. So this is the 7th chapter, 12th verse of Bhagavad Gita. And in the explanation to it, it says, all material activities in the world are being conducted under the 3 modes of material nature. Okay, what are those 3 modes of material nature? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. Every one of us are controlled by these 3 modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. But when you get properly educated in Krishna consciousness, you learn how to transcend the influence of these 3 modes. Most people, or almost everyone, are under the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. That's why there's so much fighting, arguing, and misery in the world. When you come to the mode of goodness, you avoid a lot of misery, but you're still, let's say, conditioned by thinking that you've achieved the highest perfection in life, and that's not actually true. But when you go further to transcendental goodness, then you become free from the cycle of birth and death. So first, you want to always live in what's called sattva guna. Sattva guna means the position of being in the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, you can tolerate many things. Now, someone in the mode of passion and ignorance, their toleration is very little. Thank you very much, Ram Das, for validating that. The people who are Rajasic and Tamasic, they have very little patience and tolerance. But when you come to Sattva Guna, the mode of goodness, you become very tolerant, and you become very patient, and you're able to not get into unsavory situations, such as arguing, such as enviousness, and so forth. So every human being should at least want to come to the mode of goodness so that they can have a peaceful and happy life. Then when you begin to come to the temple, listen to lectures, and read Bhagavad Gita, and associate with devotees, you can be elevated to transcendental goodness. Then you are completely free of the influence of the material world. Okay, we'll wait till the children stop crying. Yeah. So we should regularly come to the temple, associate with devotees, hear the lectures, chant and dance. That's very important also, chanting and dancing. And chanting what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And that way, you'll have a peaceful life, you'll be protected by Krishna, and you will always be happy. The life of a devotee is a life of happiness because the devotee has no fears. Why? Because Krishna says, Konteya pratijanihi, name bhakta pranashyati. Declare it boldly, Arjuna, that my devotee will never perish. So Krishna is promising to protect his devotee. And that's the best insurance policy you can get. If Krishna protects you, no one can kill you. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can protect you. So Raki Krishna Mare Ki, Mare Krishna Raki Ki. So we should always aspire to be protected by the Lord, Krishna. And it's very easy to get that protection. First of all, you don't have to pay for it. It's free. So, and secondly, it's very easy. You just chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now this mantra, man means the mind, and tra means deliverance from ignorance. This mantra delivers your mind from ignorance. Now, what is ignorance? Ignorance is to misidentify yourself. And how do you misidentify yourself? You believe that you are this body, but actually, that's wrong. Your real identity is not the body, it's the soul in the body. But almost everybody identifies with the body. That's a fundamental mistake. And because of that, there is a lot of misery in the world. What does that mean, identifying with the body? Well, first of all, I can ask you a question. Which body are you talking about? Because when your first body was microscopic, you can't even see it. It was a little sperm. And then that sperm connected an ovum, and it began to grow, and then it becomes a small child, an embryo first, then it becomes a small child, and then it becomes a little boy or girl, and then becomes an adolescent, and then a fully grown, mature person, and then they start getting old, and eventually they die. So you cannot say, I am in this body, because you've changed the body many, many times in this lifetime. Many, many times. So which body are you? The body you were in the womb of your mother, the body you are now, the body you're going to have when you're going to die. You cannot say, I'm this body. But you can say, I'm the witness of the body's changes. That means that you have consciousness. That's what you actually are, that consciousness that witnesses all the changes of the body. And where does that consciousness come from? From your soul. So the soul is the real person. And if we ignore the soul and just pamper the body all the time, we're in ignorance. And we waste the great opportunity we have to free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. So we should not be falsely attached to the body. We should be rather attached to the soul that's in the body. And our relationships with other people should not be a body-to-body relationship. It should be a soul-to-soul relationship. Just like sometimes, thank you. See, he agrees with me. Say, every time I say something right, he validates it. So we should learn to have soul-to-soul relationships, not body-to-body relationships, because the body is always changing. But the soul is one. It never changes, and it's eternal. So oftentimes, people don't know this, and because of that, they have problems in their relationships, and they have problems in understanding what is the real purpose of life. Therefore, when you come to the temple, we talk about soul-to-soul relationships as opposed to body-to-body relationships. Now, in society today, in the television, in the movies, and in newspapers, everything's about body-to-body relationships. But in Krishna consciousness, everything's about soul-to-soul relationships. So what is the difference? Well, first of all, the body is temporary, the soul's eternal. So when you learn about the fact that your real identity is your soul and not the body, then you begin spiritual life. And you have to be convinced of this. You become convinced of this, or you begin to have faith by associating with people who have faith. Oftentimes people say, well, how can I have faith? I don't know what to do to get faith. Well, it's very easy. You just associate with people who have faith. So you come to the temple and you'll associate with devotees who have full faith in Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they have full faith that they have an eternal soul, and they are acting in such a way as to liberate themselves from the temporary body and return back to where we've all come from, called Vaikuntha, the place where there's no anxiety. Vaikuntha is the spiritual world. We don't really belong in the material world. And the body that we have is always changing. So it doesn't really belong to us. I mean, there's some ladies here. I'm sure you've had some children. Do any of the ladies that have children know how they made the child in their womb? Huh? No, you don't know. Nobody knows. It's a mystery, right? That means that somebody else had the knowledge how to make a baby in your womb. You don't know how he did it, you see? So there are many mysteries in life. So whenever there are mysteries, you have to understand that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead who knows how to make a perfect baby in the womb of a woman. See? And there are many other mysteries also in life. In fact, if you become sensitive to seeing things in the right way, you'll see that there are many, many mysteries in this world. And in order to have a knowledgeable life, you have to hear from experts how to understand these mysteries and how to live in the proper way to avoid unnecessary suffering. Suffering is caused by ignorance. And ignorance, although people are very educated, but actually they got the wrong education. They got material education, how to become engineers and how to become politicians, etc. But the best education is to learn what is your relationship to God or Krishna. Then you become a real person. And you begin to respect all living entities, whether they're human beings or they're animals or they're insects or whatever, because every living being is basically a child of God. God is the source of all living beings, or Krishna is the source of all living beings. Therefore, we're all brothers and sisters. We might not realize it, but there's such a thing called expansion of your consciousness. So if we expand the consciousness beyond our body and beyond the body of our relatives, then we get a universal understanding of the soul. And then we begin to make soul-to-soul relationships rather than body-to-body relationships. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. And therefore, without this knowledge, you can go throughout a whole life and be confused, and at the moment of death, you don't know what's going to happen. But if you come and hear lectures about Krishna consciousness, about who Krishna is, about who you really are, then you won't be confused at the moment of death. See, that's right. You just validated it. Thank you, Ramdas. So, the moment of death is the worst time for a materialist or an atheist, and the moment of death is the best moment for a devotee, because the devotee will see Krishna at the moment of death and go back to the spiritual world. See, this is very important what I just said. But materialist people who are very selfish, they only eat, sleep, mate, and defend, like animals. Animals also eat, sleep, mate, and defend. They will not see Krishna at the moment of death. They'll see Yamaraj. And see, he's very, very clever. Thank you very much, Ramdas. So, we should not waste the human life. The human life is meant to understand our relationship with God or with Krishna. And to do that, see, that's another important thing I just said. The purpose of life is to understand our relationship with Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the easy way to do that is to take up the Maha Mantra. Maha means great, the mantra means the great chant for liberation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There's only two things you have to do to liberate yourself from the cycle of birth and death. Simply eat only Mahaprasadam. That is food that's prepared with love and devotion, and that's offered to Krishna. You have to have a little altar for that with a picture of Krishna. And then afterwards, Krishna offers it back to you as his prasadam, and you eat it. Now you're eating sanctified food. It's no longer an ordinary meal. It's a spiritual meal that's been consecrated by the Lord. So if you eat only prasadam, and secondly, you take up the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you will achieve the real goal of life. And the real goal of life is, at the moment of death, you remember God and you go back to the spiritual world. And at the moment of death, if you remember your 401k and other nonsense things, you stay in the material world and continue to suffer birth, death, old age, and disease. So take your choice now. What do you want to remember at the moment of death? You tell me. You want to remember your 401k? You want to remember all the people you don't like? See, what happens is at the moment of death, everything you did in your life flashes through your brain. You actually see it. And if there's a lot of, let's say, arguing and fighting and money this and money that, you won't be able to remember God. You won't be able to remember God. But if you've practiced your whole life remembering Krishna, and the best way to remember Krishna is to take up chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you don't have to be a pundit, you don't have to be a rocket engineer, you don't have to be any extraordinary person. Anybody can chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and anyone can learn how to cook food and vegetarian food and offer it to Krishna, and then sit down with your family and eat that sanctified food. Never eat just food. You should only eat sanctified food or prasadam. That way your whole life changes. And I guarantee you, you will experience it, a complete change of life, by taking up the diet of Mahaprasadam. And it's very easy to make. By the way, we have a booklet. It's only $1. You can buy it at the over here in the counter. And that teaches you the prayers that you should say to offer the food to Krishna, and other things that you can do in your house. Basically, everything we do in the temple, you can do in the house also. And that way, you're always connected to Krishna day and night, and wherever you are. So this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is called Yuga Dharma, the recommended way to attain liberation in this age of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, there are 4 ages. There's Sattva Yuga, there's Dwapara Yuga, there's Treta Yuga, and there's Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the worst time to live because almost everybody doesn't believe in God. Hardly 25% of the population believes in God, and even that 25% is diminishing. So, because it's so difficult, Krishna or God has made it very, very easy to go back to Godhead. You simply chant Hare Krishna and eat only saintly food or prasadam, you will go back to Godhead. Just 2 things you have to do. It's not complicated. So, when there is fear, anxiety, and confusion in your life, then you should definitely come to the temple and chant Hare Krishna with us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The temple is open every day, all year, and we're always here. The deities are here. You will always get free prasadam, and you can chant Hare Krishna and dance also. And this way, your fears, anxieties, and shortcomings will be, let's say, left behind, and you begin to have a very strong faith that God exists and you have a strong relationship with God. Actually, God is the closest person to us. He's in our heart as Paramatma. So instead of looking for God outside, you should learn how to look for God inside. And he's in the heart of every living being. The animals also, the insects also. Krishna is in the heart of all living beings. But all these other living beings can't understand that, but human beings can understand the presence of God in their heart. And Krishna, when he sees that you take a serious interest in him, he takes a serious interest in you. So we should take up this very simple process of Harinam Sankirtan, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm going to stop right there and ask you if you have any questions. See, the way to learn is not simply listening, but also asking questions. The whole Vedic knowledge is taught through questions and answers. So, does anyone have a question to ask? You have a question, Ramdas? No, okay. Yes, yes. Yes. You have to turn it on. And it's not on. Wait a minute. Yeah, 1 second, 1 second. He's turning it on. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, yes. So my question is, when we have the human and prior to that, as per the class, previous life would be a life of a cow. So it's very hard to imagine such a loving animal when it comes to a human form of life. We have all sort of cruelty in us.
You have also, what? You have
Cruelty, like human beings are so
cruelty.
cruel.
Okay, okay.
Cruel towards all the animals. So where are we going wrong with our human form of life? The moment we have this human form, we are being so, we are not more compassionate, right? The most of the, like if you see, animals are not creating more problem for animals. We are the human beings are creating more problem for the animals.
Well, it's called ignorance. Most of the schools in the world, not just the United States, in the world, are not really teaching knowledge. They're teaching ignorance. How to eat meat, how to have illicit sex, how to gamble, how to have intoxication. They're not really teaching people properly. And because of that, once you put your child in a, let's say, public school or even a private school, they're going to be trained to be ignorant. They're not going to be really educated. Real education is when you begin to read Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic literatures, but especially you don't have to read many books. All you have to read is just one book. It's Bhagavad Gita. This is the oldest book in the history of the world. It has everything you need to be educated, materially and spiritually. It's not only spiritual knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita, it's material knowledge also, but basic material knowledge by which you can avoid getting yourself into trouble. We get into trouble because of ignorance. And the trouble is meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, lying, cheating, and all those things. Once you hear, by the way, hearing Bhagavad Gita is more important than reading it, because you have a chance to ask questions, and then you'll get answers. So this one book is the greatest book in the history of the world. By the way, it's the oldest book in the history of the world. There's no book that compares with it. Of course, people might say, well, how is that? Well, I'll tell you how is that. Bhagavad Gita was spoken the last time 5,000 years ago to Arjuna. That makes it the oldest book already. But the first time it was spoken was 140 million years ago, when Krishna spoke it to the Vivaswan, or Surya, the sun god. So here we're dealing with the oldest book in the world, and it has just a few pages, like, how many pages does it have? It's like maybe 600 pages. Yeah, 800 pages. And all knowledge is in this one book. You don't need to read any other book. And also, the best way to learn Bhagavad Gita is to hear it, spoken by genuine devotees. That's why every day we talk about Bhagavad Gita. So, today's verse is the 7th chapter, 13th verse. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, Maharaj. We are into that ignorance which is causing all sort of problem for all the living entities, Maharaj.
Yeah, okay, then the first ignorance, and the most, let's say, profound ignorance, is when you identify yourself with your body. We have to identify ourselves as the soul in the body, the source of consciousness. But everybody identifies with the body. If you say to someone, what are you? They say, well, I'm this body. And my body is American, or my body is Indian, like that. So that is ignorance. So right from the beginning, when you make a wrong understanding of who you actually are, everything you do in life will be a mistake. Now, that seems to be a harsh statement, but it's not. It's the truth. Because you can see what's happening in society today. There's divorce, there's arguing, there's war, there's people that are homeless, and all that is because of ignorance and not understanding who they actually are. We are all the children of Krishna. And if we take up glorifying Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna and reading about Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, all these problems will go away. I guarantee it. They'll all go away. That's why Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna 5,000 years ago. After he spoke it to him, all his problems went away. You see. And he had bigger problems than any of us will ever have. So here we have one book that has all knowledge, and it's proven that it's knowledge because Arjuna, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he made all the right decisions and he came out victorious. So we should always follow the winner, not the loser. See, the losers are people that go to casinos and they like to gamble and they like to have sex and they like to eat meat and things like that. They're all losers. But someone who can control their mind and senses and engage themselves in devotional service to Krishna, they're all winners. So you should be on the winning party, not the losing party. See? And it's very easy. You simply chant Hare Krishna and eat Mahaprasadam. Okay. Thank you, Ramdas. I'm glad you validated that statement. Yeah. This is why I keep Ramdas with me every time I speak. So does that answer your question?
Yes, Madam.
Yeah.
Another thing, one incident, I'm like a small thing. So in my backyard, I was looking at one bird came and it tried to eat earthworm. Okay. And it was trying to eat, and the earthworm, I could see the struggle. So I didn't know what to do. Initially, I thought, is this a natural thing? Why should I interfere? But then I couldn't stop to see the struggle of that earthworm. So I shoo away that bird.
Right.
Like, what should I have done actually? I was confused. Am I interfering with the natural, its food is that earthworm, so, and then I couldn't
Well,
stop
one
to
day,
see the-
one day there was a man that saw an earthworm in a pile of stool. It was maybe some cow or something had passed stool, and the earthworm was in the stool, and the man thought, oh, the poor earthworm. So he picked it up, and he took it away, far away, and put it in the green grass. And he waited to see what the worm was going to do. The worm went back to the pile of stool. So you can't change nature. See, like a lion or a tiger, they're meat eaters. They're gonna hunt down animals. But believe me, tigers and lions, they don't eat every day. They're lucky They're lucky if they eat once a week. And they have to, because all the animals avoid them. So they have to work really hard to catch an animal. And then they hide it, and they eat it little by little. They can't, they're not like us, you know. Every day we have, nice things to eat, and have a nice bed and everything. So even the strongest animal in the world, the lion, he doesn't eat every day. It's not easy because all the other animals avoid him, you see. So we shouldn't think that in nature everything should be like, nobody eats nobody. No. Just like we might be eating tomatoes and potatoes, they're also living beings. They might be lower, on the scale of consciousness than human beings, but they're also living beings. But we're given permission by Krishna to eat certain vegetarian things. When I say certain, we never touch garlic and onion. And some people argue, they say, well, wait a minute, that's vegetarian. They're vegetables, yes. But they're in the mode of ignorance. So what we try and do as devotees is always stay in the mode of goodness. There's goodness, passion, and ignorance. So when you drink liquor and things like that, it's passion and ignorance. When you are a vegetarian, you're beginning to be in the mode of goodness. But being a vegetarian is not actually the real goal. The real goal is to become a prashad Aryan, someone who only eats food that's been sanctified by being offered to Krishna first, and then he offers it back as a sanctified food. That's the real purpose. That's the real way to eat. So now we can see that most people are ignorant how to eat, and they eat every day. It's a basic thing, but most people eat in ignorance. So we can see why there's so much trouble in the world. But when you learn about Krishna consciousness, you learn how to eat in the mode of goodness, and only things also that are in the mode of goodness. Like, for example, milk is in the mode of goodness. But now there are people like vegans that say, oh, don't drink milk, it's not good for you. Hey, Ramdas, Hare Krishna, what are you doing? Oh, he's scratching his head, that's why. He needs someone to scratch his head. That's it. Just scratch his head. That's it. You see, now he's happy. The body, the body always has itches, but when you scratch his head and give him a little hug, he begins to become more friendly. Let's put it like that. All right, so there's a lot of ignorance in the world today, unfortunately, and a lot of false narratives that make people confused, and they make the wrong decisions in life. So the first thing you have to do is come to the temple and associate with devotees. See, that's right. He just validated that. You come to the temple and associate with devotees, have some nice prasadam, have darshan of the deities, and hear something from Bhagavad Gita. And then you can do that regularly. We're open every day. And you'll see, little by little, you develop faith. Most people say, well, you have to have faith to believe in God. I don't have any faith. But it's very easy to have faith. You associate with people that have faith. So in the temple, you can come every day. You can have darshan of the deities. You can have free prasadam. You can hear lectures. And you can do seva. When you become determined to perform seva, or devotional service, at that point, you become a devotee, you see. So when you love God, then you want to serve God. So we're teaching people how to love God, and then the natural thing is that you want to serve. Okay, so are there any questions? Is your question answered? Okay. Are there any other questions you would like to ask? You have to understand, you learn by asking questions. You don't learn by being quiet. Are there any more questions? You have a question? No question? Prabhu, you have many questions. Go ahead. Any more questions? Or comments? You can make a comment. You can make a comment. Go ahead. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Going 3 times? No, you have a question, sir? No? Prabhu, ask a question. Go ahead. Yeah. Well, okay, I'm glad you said that. In other words, what you said was, when you drive your car, you kill so many living entities. When you clean their house, you kill living entities. So basically, that's sinful, right? However, if you learn to chant Hare Krishna, and you only drive the car to go to places where you hear lectures and things like that, you're not committing any sins then. In fact, by killing those different living entities, insects and things like that, they have a chance to go back to Godhead quicker than the normal way that they have to go through so many different births and deaths. So you can be merciful by chanting Hare Krishna always and giving prasadam to people and to animals. When Ramdas, we give him prasadam. Therefore, see, he likes that, right? And it's very important to give people prasadam. And that's why we have our free food trucks. We go out and feed people for free 5 days a week. And we don't ask them to do anything for it, right? So it's important to have Mahaprasadam. It's important to associate with people who have control of their mind and their senses and do not, let's say, get unnecessarily angry, and they have control of themselves. Yes, that's very important, right, Ramdas? Okay. So, like even in a marriage, sometimes people get, angry. Husband and wife get angry, they start arguing. That's because they're in the mode of ignorance. They haven't really learned anything about Krishna consciousness. But when you become Krishna conscious, you can live in peace and happiness without arguing, and that way you'll be happy. Arguing is the worst thing you can do in a marriage because it leads to destruction. Hey, Ramdas, you're not supposed to do that. Okay. He's doing that because his head is itchy. You have to scratch his head, probably. Haribol. Okay. So when you get married, you make what's called a vow of marriage. And what is that vow? That there'll never be any separation. But today, in the United States, almost 50% of the people who get married get divorced. After making a vow of never separating, they get divorced. Now, that's a terrible thing. Divorce is one of the worst things that can happen to you. Yeah. So why do people get divorced? Because they're ignorant. See, he validated that statement. Yes. Okay, so when you get married, everything is I love you, I love you, I love you. And after some time, it ends up I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. See, that's because people have not been educated properly. Love is not on the basis of the body. It's based on soul-to-soul relationship. So to have a soul-to-soul relationship, you have to have knowledge. And that knowledge is in the Bhagavad Gita. And in the association of devotees, you will learn Bhagavad Gita properly. And then you learn to be very, very calm and be very, very, let's say, understanding and very, very tolerant. When you get married, you have to have a lot of tolerance. Oftentimes, one time, one lady told me, when I got married, I thought my husband was Lord Rama. But after 3 months, I realized I'd married Ravana. So it's funny, but that happens a lot. That's why the 50% of people get married in the United States, they divorce. And then when they get a second marriage, 68% of those second marriages end up in divorce. And when they get a third marriage, 80% of those marriages are divorces. See? So we can see how confused people are. It's very rare that people have the equilibrium of the mind to understand how to have how to maintain their vows. So when you get married, you make the vow that you'll never separate. That's the basic vow that keeps society, in other words, maintains the continuity of the society. So divorce is one of the worst things that can happen. Therefore, it's better not to get married, but if you are determined to follow the rules of Krishna consciousness, then you can have a very successful marriage, and it will be, until you die. But however, if the husband and wife are both Krishna conscious, then they become eternal couple in the spiritual world. There are many eternal couples in the spiritual world, starting from Radha and Krishna, or Sita and Rama, and many, many other couples that have liberated themselves and gone back to the spiritual world and lived together eternally in the spiritual world. So that's the real marriage, eternally being together in the spiritual world, in the presence of Krishna. That's called a holy marriage. It's not a body-to-body relationship. It's a soul-to-soul relationship. When there's a body-to-body relationship and there's some discrepancy in one's body, then sometimes there's divorce. There's different types of discrepancies that can happen. The worst one is when the person you love becomes paralyzed or something like that. And oftentimes it's too much for the spouse or the wife or the husband, and they leave. They just leave. They can't take seeing the person that they married in such a dilapidated situation. But real love is when you make a vow and you keep it. So we should learn to be promise keepers. In that way, we're real persons. When you make a vow and you break it, then you're not a real person. You're basically a person who can't be trusted. So it's very important that we hear good things about how to have a happy marriage, because a happy marriage means your children will be happy also. And a marriage that's, let's say, broken by divorce or separation, that's because the husband and wife are both selfish. They're not thinking about their children. Divorce is very, very difficult for a child to understand. And it really affects their growth and the way they develop in life. So someone might say, well, yeah, you're saying all these things, but what if the husband is beating his wife? Well, then there should be separation, and the wife should pray for her husband to come to his senses and stop being violent like that. Or the husband finds out his wife is cheating on him, and going with other men, the husband also should be very, very patient and pray that his wife gives up that bad habits. So we should not be ready to get angry enough to annul our vows. We should keep our vow as much as possible and pray to Krishna. Now, prayer is very powerful. If you pray sincerely to Krishna, Krishna will help you. So even you might be in the worst condition of life, not see any way that it'll change, but still, if you pray to Krishna sincerely, he will take care of you. He will adjust your situation so that you can live peacefully in this life. We have to have that faith. There's always faith before knowledge. So, for example, if you go buy a ticket to go from Seattle to, let's say, New York, and the ticket lady or gentleman says, "Don't buy this ticket. That plane is going to crash." Would you buy the ticket? Huh? What do you think? No, you wouldn't buy it. You see, because faith always precedes knowledge. But if you buy an airline ticket, you have faith it's going to lead, it's going to take you to where you're going to go safely. So, but if the ticket agent says, "Don't buy this ticket, the plane is going to crash," you lose your faith and you don't buy the ticket, and so forth. So we should put our faith in Krishna. We shouldn't put our faith in airplanes. We shouldn't put our faith in the stock market. We shouldn't put our faith in this or that, in politicians. But we should put our faith in Krishna. Krishna will never let you down. Krishna will never fail you, let's say, if you pray sincerely. So the easy way to pray is simply chant Hare Krishna and offer your food before you eat, and then once Krishna is satisfied, he gives it back as his prasadam. Just do those two things. That's enough to change your whole life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Haribol. Food. You're talking about when you go with your co-workers to have a lunch, right? You bring your own lunch. You know when they're going to go out for a lunch. They usually tell you ahead of time, maybe a day or two ahead of time. Now, if they don't, and you go with them, then you look on the menu and see if there's anything vegetarian on the menu. And there usually is nowadays. And then you pray before you eat. You don't have to pray out loud. You can pray silently in your mind before you eat. Please, Krishna, please accept this offering of food. Please give it back to me as prasadam. So there's always a way of doing things. And Krishna can hear you and can hear your prayers, whether you say them out loud or whether you say them mentally, right? And do you live alone or you have a family? You live with your family, right? You mean going on business trips? Yeah. Well, okay, let me give you an example. Do you have any Muslims in your office? Okay. But the Muslims, they'll put their little prayer rug and they'll face toward Makkah. And at lunchtime or any time, they'll sit down and pray, you see. And so therefore, in one way, you could say, and they pray 5 times a day. So one way you could say that they're more religious than the Hindus, you see. So you shouldn't be afraid to, you don't have to do it like ostentatiously, but you should offer the food even mentally before you eat it when you're in the work or you're on a lunch, with your coworkers or whatever. You can, because Krishna can hear you whether you say it out loud or whether you say mentally, right? Because he's in your heart, right? So you can pray in that way to Krishna, please accept this offering and please give it back to me as your prasad. And then you can eat. It's not complicated. It's easy. If the Muslim guy can put down his prayer rug in the office and bow down to Allah and pray at 12 o'clock or 3 o'clock, they actually have to pray 5 times a day. So in that one sense, they're better than the Hindus. Hindus, they might come to the temple, once a week. But the Muslim, whether he's at work, sometimes they might be in a bus or in the street. When it's time to pray, they pray, right? And they don't care where they are. And they don't care, if the people are looking at them strangely or not. Okay? So we should, I'm not saying we have to get a prayer rug and start praying in public, but you should always pray to Krishna before you eat, whether you're eating at home or whether you're eating in the office or when you go to maybe a office breakfast or something or lunch. You should always pray to Krishna, right? To please accept this offering, and, offer to Krishna, and then he'll offer it back as his prasadam. Krishna's in your heart. Even you can pray silently or mentally. Krishna can hear because he's in your heart. So you have to understand that. So it's not difficult to pray and before you eat. It shouldn't be like one of these, okay, and then start eating. You have to, say the prayers. Now, do you have, all the prayers you should say before you eat? Yeah. So you do that wherever you are. And people will respect you, actually. They see that you actually follow your religious convictions. And they'll respect you. Maybe some stupid people will criticize you, but most people, they'll respect the fact that you have values, spiritual values. They'll respect that, So you don't be afraid. Hare Krishna. Yes. 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 Okay, what is the difference when you get initiated? Okay. Well, the difference is when you're not initiated, sometimes you say, well, today I'm so busy, I don't have time to chant my rounds. But when you get initiated, you have to chant your rounds every day. You have to follow the rules and regulations because you made a vow. When you're not initiated, you haven't made any vow. So, if you miss some things that you should do, it doesn't really bother you. But when you make that vow, that, every day I would chant 16 good rounds, I will eat only prasadam, and I will always try and be engaged in devotional service. These are things that you must do. It's a duty. When you're not initiated, you don't really feel it's your duty to do those things. So that's the difference. But when you do things dutifully, you become a real person. And when you do things haphazardly, you're not really a person, a good person, because people will not be able to predict you. Like in my case, if it's early in the morning, you know that I'm awake and I'm chanting my rounds, right? And if I come to the temple, you know that I'm chanting Hare Krishna or giving lectures and things like that. You can predict what I'm going to do. But when you're not initiated, it's hard to predict what the person is going to do. They might chant, they might not chant. They might offer their food, they might not offer the food. So when you become initiated, you become predictable. And that is your Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That is your new identity. You become predictable because you promise to do certain things at the moment of initiation. And if you stick to doing those things, you become a real person. And Krishna takes notice of that. The fact that you're keeping your vows, that defines who you are. And the vow of initiation is you will not engage in meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, lying, cheating, all those things. And you will eat only prasadam, regularly hear lectures given by devotees, maybe go on Sankirtan, and regularly, eat only, let's say, just read the Bhagavad Gita every day. So these are things that you promise to do, and it defines who you are. If you stop doing those things, then it's a violation of your promise. So when you make a vow, it identifies who you are, and you become predictable, and then people respect you. So if you pray every day at a certain time, and you engage in devotional service, people know who you are now. You're a genuine devotee. And that's your real identity eternally. So you're practicing, we're all practicing right now to be eligible to go back to the spiritual world. And practice makes perfect. So every day, if we chant our rounds, if we eat only prasadam, if we take at least 1 or 2 baths a day, and we spend a little bit of time reading the Shastras, then you're connecting to Krishna. That's very important, and it defines who you are now. People say, "Oh, he's a very good devotee. I can trust this person." So, just become a devotee. It's not complicated. It's very easy. You just chant Hare Krishna at least 16 rounds. It takes about an hour and a half, or maximum 2 hours to do it. And everybody has at least 2 or 3 hours where they're not doing anything, right? Or, they're doing something, but like they're watching television or they're talking on the cell phone or something like that. So everybody has at least 2 hours that they don't have to, they're not forced to do anything. And that's when you chant your rounds, right? And you have to go to sleep early and wake up early to do that. So everything changes when you become a devotee. It's not, well, today I'll sleep in. No, you're duty-bound to do certain things every day. And that, believe me, changes your life, and you become very happy. Because you see, before I wasn't able to do this, but now I'm able to do it because I made a vow. And you'll be happy, very, very happy. Chanting regularly, doing service. You do service already, but doing your service and associating with nice devotees. And in the association of devotees, you have a chance to ask questions, like you just asked a question, right? So you just keep doing this. The best thing is to associate with genuine devotees. Then you'll learn everything about Krishna consciousness. and not be afraid to ask questions. Does that answer your question? Yes or no? No, you can ask one more. Go ahead. Good question. Yeah. Well, you're duty bound once you're initiated. You have to do it. When you're not initiated, sometimes you say, well, I'll do it, and sometimes you say, I won't do it. But now you're duty bound to do it because you promised to do it at the moment of initiation. It's just like marriage. At the moment of marriage, you promise in front of, the minister or the priest and in front of God that there'll never be any separation between you and your wife. So those promises that you make, or those vows that you take, define who you are. So sometimes you hear there's a husband and wife, they've been married 60 years. And when they die, oftentimes they die almost at the same time together. Well, I mean, they maybe not pure devotees, but at least they kept their vows. And it's a very, very respectable thing to do that, Married 60 years, raised so many children, and they have so many grandchildren, you see. So that is basically keeping society going. So when you have people that keep their vows, but they're clean vows, it's not the vow to kill somebody, but the vow that they will follow Sanatana Dharma, they become a real person at that point. What's a real person? It's someone you can predict what they're going to do. They're predictable. You know different times of the day what they're actually doing. See? So in that way, you're a real person. When you're unpredictable, you're not a real person. You're a danger to yourself and danger to other people. So we have to be very careful about the vows we make, and we have to keep them, and then we become real in our life. See? So you're coming regularly, you're doing service in the temple. Does that make you feel happy? Okay, so that means that you're preparing yourself to go back to Godhead, because that's what goes on in the spiritual world, service to Krishna. So you're practicing now, serving, and there's a million ways you can serve, right? Not only one way. Somebody like yourself to take care of the what do you call that? The audio, right? That's your service. And that's a big service. And we really appreciate what you're doing. And somebody else can be washing the dishes, and somebody else can be, vacuuming the rugs and things like that. So the temple is a place where you can do seva, serving Krishna and the deities and the devotees. So you also serve the devotees. So that means that you have become a real devotee, because your life is based on seva, serving Krishna, serving people, but in a way that they can understand also who is God and how to serve God. So you're the practical example of it. That's how you teach. You don't necessarily teach by talking. You teach by giving a good example. And then people respect you because they say, look, I can't say anything about this person because he's a good person, and I respect him. I might not believe what he believes. I might not be religious myself, but I have to at least respect this person because he's a good person. He's honest. He's always saying his prayers. good person is someone who's predictable. Just like you hear me giving lectures here, right? But, after the lecture, you might see me walking down the street smoking a cigarette. Well, that would be a shock, wouldn't it? So wait a minute. He was telling us not to smoke cigarettes and things like that, and now he's smoking a cigarette. That means he's not a real sadhu. He's basically a fake, right? So if you want to be a real person, you have to take spiritual vows and follow them. And that defines who you are. And people respect you because they know the vows that you've taken and they see that you're following them seriously all the time. So we have to see ourselves as a promise keeper, not a promise breaker. So we promise to follow 4 regulative principles of Krishna consciousness and to always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's very easy, it's not complicated. So if you do that, you'll see your whole life changes. And Krishna will be helping you all the time. He gives you the knowledge, which he gives you knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So when you're serious about keeping your vows, he gives you knowledge and remembrance. But if you're not keeping your vows, then he also gives you forgetfulness, and you fall down again to the material world. So make the vow and keep it, and Krishna will help you in every way. Haribol. Yes. Okay, it's getting a little late. Anybody else have a question? Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Jamir? Okay. Well, that's part of the teaching. Books. Yeah, that's let's say, a sign that you've read the Shastras, the Holy Scriptures, and maybe you've had some experience with devotees. And devotee is a person who's made a vow and keeps it. So the vow we make is no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. Those are negative things. And positive things that are, we always chant minimum 16 rounds a day on our beads. So now our beads, we have our chanting beads. So there's 108 beads. And every day we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 108. That's called 1 round. And we do 16 rounds minimum a day. Right? That's about 2 hours. So that's an absolute necessity if you want to be a serious devotee. Now, maybe in the beginning you can't do that. That's all right. So you chant just 4 rounds, but you do it every day. And then if you do it every day, you make a vow, I'm going to do this. And then eventually it'll go to 6 rounds, and eventually go to 8 rounds, and eventually go to 16 rounds. Practice makes perfect. You can do it anytime you want, but the best time is between 3 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the morning. It's called Brahma Muhurta, the best 4 hours of the day for making spiritual advancement. So in order to do that, you have to go to bed early, at least 9:30. Latest 10 o'clock. So you can wake up 3 or 4 o'clock and have the, peace. There's no phones ringing. There's no obligations at those times of the day. And you can chant easily. So you don't start, you don't have to start chanting 16 rounds at once. You can start doing 4 rounds every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. And then you gradually increase until you get to 16. And it'll be over a certain period of time, and you'll love it, I'll tell you right now. You can chant anywhere. Yeah, you're always welcome. What you should do is, any question you have, write it down on a piece of paper so you don't forget it. When you come here, you ask questions. Yeah, very important to ask questions. But you have to remember the questions. So as soon as you read something you don't understand it, don't try and figure it out on your own. Ask a question, write it down on a piece of paper and then ask a question when you come here. Hare Krishna. That's a good question. That question was asked to my spiritual master once. I had organized a meeting of Buddhists with His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami, my guru. And there were some people there, there were newspaper people. And at one point, one of the newspaper guys said, wait a minute, said, what's the difference between you guys, meaning the Buddhists and the Hare Krishnas? And my guru, he said, the difference is we believe in God and they don't. Very simple. And it's the truth. Yeah. Well, what are the Buddhist teachings? It's ahimsa, parama, parama. In other words, the highest principle of spirituality is nonviolence. That's their main mantra, right? Yeah, well, that's good, but that's not enough. You have to be nonviolent, yes, but you have to learn to be a lover of Krishna or God. That's something else. Buddhists don't understand that. They don't even believe God exists. Faith in God. Yes. Look, Krishna consciousness is very easy. You chant, dance, and eat sanctified food, and come and hear lectures, and ask questions. Right? Very simple, it's not complicated. And you'll become a genuine devotee of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This word Godhead is very interesting. It means that it says, we don't say God, we say Godhead. because there's the Supreme Personality of Godhead and all the other great saints that exist in the spiritual world. You see, so there are more people in the spiritual world than in the material world, many more. We're in a minority here. Right? So why? Because most people have not walked away from God. Most people are in the spiritual world. It's us in the material world, we're a small minority actually, and it's hard for us to understand how we got into this predicament. Right? So when you die and you take birth again, you forget who you were in the previous life or previous lives. So when you come in contact with genuine devotees, then your memory becomes, let's say, alive again, and you can remember. Just like you were with your mother at birth, right? Do you remember it? No, when you were born, do you remember being with her? Yeah, I know. So you don't remember being with her at birth. So that's our situation. We were all with Krishna. We just don't remember it. So how do you make your memory like more profound? You start chanting the holy names of the Lord, and your memory will come back that you were originally with God, and the purpose of life is to go back to God. It's very simple, not complicated. We were all with God. We were all the children of God. So, yeah. So the easiest way to go back is to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That's why it's called Maha Mantra. Maha means great. It's a great mantra for liberation from the cycle of birth and death. That's the meaning. And it only has 3 words, Hare Krishna and Rama. So the more you come, the more you're going to learn about all these supernatural things by which you can become a supernatural being and do a lot of good, not only to yourself, but to many, many other people. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, Krishna has many forms. Yeah, that's a fact, because he's God. He can assume any form he wants, because he's the source of all living entities. So sometimes he can come in the form of a gigantic pig, right? But a really gigantic, like, bigger than skyscrapers, right? And have transcendental pastimes. It can come also in any form he wants, because he has all powers. Now, non-devotees can't understand this, but real devotees can understand. Well, we believe there's only one God, but that God has infinite powers. Yeah, he's not limited in any way. We're all limited. Krishna's unlimited. If he wants to appear as a pig, he can appear as a pig, but it's a transcendental pig. That's bigger than a skyscraper. See? Yeah. You're welcome. Hare Krishna. Any other questions, comments, confessions? No, you don't have to confess. That's okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right, then we're going to stop there because we have to wake up early in the morning. Early to bed, early to rise, makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. So please go to bed before 10 o'clock and wake up 3 o'clock in the morning so you can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There's 108 beads, and 109th bead is the Krishna bead. And the 108 beads are representative of the 108 most intimate gopis. Gopis are women who are genuine devotees of Krishna. So we chant every day on each bead, 108, and then that's one round, and we chant minimum 16 rounds. It takes about 2 hours to do that. Yeah. So you don't have to start on 16. You can start with 2 rounds, and bring it to 4, and eventually to 8, and eventually to 16. And you'll see your whole life will change. And you'll have the protection of Krishna. And you'll actually feel it. And you'll see wonderful things happening that you never experienced before. Hare Krishna.